All right, so today's video is a very simple tool, but very powerful as you go about reprogramming your consciousness and working with your mind. I kind of stumbled on it by accident, but perhaps some of you will relate with some of the things I was battling, some of the fears, the worries, the doubts, etc. And it ended up being super effective. So here goes. I was starting a business at the time, and it was kind of my first foray into all of that, and didn't have any capital set aside or anything, but I had a burning desire to do it. And so it was baking bread, and left a nice corporate cushy job to go do it. Started baking bread 3 nights a week, so staying up all night baking bread. And as you can imagine, if you were starting a new business, didn't really have any money underneath your feet, some of the thoughts going through your head, right, would be, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to pull it off? What if I run out of money? What if it doesn't work? What if it's not successful? Like all those worries and doubts and all the things that the mind kind of throws up, all of its little red flags, right? And again, I just kind of stumbled on this because I knew somewhere deep inside that I could not let those fears, those thoughts get the best of me. And anytime they came up, I just had to redirect. I had to get away from them, so to speak, and just focus back into the desire. And this was just one of the ways that I stumbled upon in terms of how to do that. So what it was is I was, baking bread. I was up 3 nights a week. So working with my hands, I had my mind kind of free, so to speak, because, the hands were doing all the work. And I just started listening to YouTube videos. One was a Steve Harvey video that talked about just jumping into your passion, just taking the leap, even if there's no parachute, so to speak, it'll unfold on the way down. But the one that was super powerful and that radically changed my life, honestly, and the trajectory of my life, was one by Abraham Hicks. And it was a mashup that somebody had put together. And it was just a bunch of kind of the same statement. Things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. And I just listened to that YouTube video on loop, and I would listen to it for hours at a time, and then go back multiple nights and listen to it and just listen to it and listen to it and listen to it, to where at first the mind kind of fought it a little bit, because the mind likes novelty, it likes new ideas, it likes to chew on new things and work on complexity and all the rest of it. But very quickly, kind of over time, I just trained the mind to just kind of listen, if you will, or do its own thing or think about other things. And so that was just kind of droning on in the background. And what started to happen that I didn't know would happen is it just started to kind of slowly permeate, kind of like a soft spring rain, permeate my consciousness to where I didn't even know that it was doing it. But what started happening is, as I would go about my day, and things would be working out for me, I would start like exclaiming out loud, like, oh my God, things are working out for me. Things are always working out for me. And it just started to really kind of ground it and reinforce it and make it a part of my reality. And to where now it's so ingrained, so entrenched in my state of being, that nobody could tell me different. I know that things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. So I share this because ultimately there's going to be some tools that I post. Oh, hi. Oh, a beautiful little dog just walked by. Some kind of, I'm sure it's a doodle of some sort. Anyhow, it's really beautiful. I'm going to be sharing some tools, and hopefully, you'll give them a whirl as well, because this is so simple and it's such an easy way to work with the mind and the subconscious that I don't hear people really talking about. And it's literally kind of effortless and hands off. You just put in your headphones and go about whatever you're doing, whether it be your dishes or, your walk or your exercising or whatnot, but just repeating and looping these thoughts, these statements, and without effort, without you having to really think about it, they just start to entrench and ingrain in your mind. And all of a sudden you start to not only think that way, but then as it gets into your consciousness, then you start to be that way. And that's the important thing, is then you start to embody it and you start to live it. And that's when the true magic happens. So I hope you'll adopt some of these as I share them. They'll be on the store so you can purchase them. What else do I want to share about this? Oh, the other thing about it that's so cool, that I've just, I'm so fascinated with the mind. And so I've been really thinking about this, and why does it work? And why does a simple little hack just create these profound results? Because I've done it with all different kinds of audio loops now. what it causes is it, number one, starts to kind of repattern the way you think, right? So our minds are generally conditioned a different way than thinking that things are always working out for us based upon our society, our upbringing, our culture, school, our friends, our parents, all the rest of it, right? It's generally not the way that we're taught in society, that things are always working out for us. It's generally quite the opposite. So it starts to cause you to question some of your current thinking, right? Because your current thinking is going off in another direction. So you're telling your mind one thing, even though your current patterns of thinking are something else. And so you'll start to have these conflicting thoughts, right, that are bubbling up to the surface, where then you can start to question beliefs that you're holding and saying, well, wait a minute, why am I believing that? Or why do I still think that? Or if things are always working out for me, then why do I have to think that? Or why do I have to go down that route or do that action or proceed with that, right? So it starts to question your current belief set so that you can start to change that. And that's where true power lies. But also then too, what is so cool is that as it drones and as it drones and as it drones, you just start, kind of going about other thinking, your mind starts wandering, all the rest of it. What starts to happen is just kind of coming up to your active consciousness in this very kind of soft, gentle way are just these thoughts of these realizations, these awarenesses of, when you start to embody things are always working out for me, then all of a sudden you start to see, oh my God, things have always been working out for me. And now I see the pattern. Now I see where this was it, and this was it, and this was it, and this was it. And you start to make all these connections and you start to have these revelations without, doing this active meditation, sitting down, contemplating things for hours. They just start to kind of permeate and bubble up to your consciousness. And it's this, I tell you what, guys, it's a super effective, really powerful tool. So I hope you give it a whirl. Thanks. Bye.